The Toronto Raptors are out of the NBA bubble after a disappointing Game 7 loss to the Boston Celtics.
That is it. The Boston Celtics will advance to take on the Miami Heat.
The 92-87 loss comes on the heels of a thrilling double overtime Game 6 win on Wednesday. The series seesawed back and forth with the Celtics going up 2-0 before the Raptors powered back. The Celtics take on the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. And for more on this, let's bring in Louis Zatzman. He is an author at the Raptors Republic, and he joins us from Toronto, Ontario. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
I wish we weren't having this type of conversation. I'll be honest with you. It's a very disappointing end to the season for the Toronto Raptors, but a close game nonetheless. Break down Game 7 for us.
Game 7 was frustrating because the Raptors had established over the first 6 that they were going to be the better executed team. They were going to make fewer mistakes, be the smarter team. They had more experience, right? They won a championship last year. And the Celtics in Jason Tatum and Kemba Walker had 2 scorers that are probably smoother, maybe more talented, can score more easily than anyone on Toronto. But because of Toronto's team defense, because of their effort level, because of their solidity, they were in the series. And then Game 7, that sort of fell apart. Toronto beat themselves. They turned the ball over so much. They made bizarre choices at times. And yet they punched their way into the game. You know, they had a chance to win. They were in control for much of the game. So it was almost a microcosm of the series in the sense that no matter what adversity Toronto had, they had a chance. They couldn't get over the hump in the end, but nothing to be ashamed of. And a proud series, a strong and heads held high type of end to a championship defense.
Absolutely. They fought to the very end. Now, they came into the season as the defending champions. Do you think in the beginning, that people really thought they had a chance to repeat?
Yes, and it depends who you ask. I think the closer you got to the team, the closer the answer was to yes. So the players themselves, yes, they believed they had a chance to repeat. The coaches, the staff, the general manager. Toronto journalists, maybe 80% yes. We recognized it was unlikely, but they had a chance. And then the further you get distant from the team, the more it was that they were disrespected, not acknowledged. So American journalists, ESPN, TNT, the big names, the big networks, really didn't think Toronto had any business repeating. And so the Raptors were trying to prove them wrong. You know, the haters have always been a big motivator to Kyle Lowry, to his team. And so really, I think the team was the biggest believer in themselves down to the end.
Yeah, and they are now back in the offseason. How do you think the team can regroup and reorganize, come back next season even better?
It's a good question and an important one, but such a bizarre one because they don't know when the next season will start. They don't know when the draft will be. I think for now, everyone is really just focusing on going home to their families, the ones who didn't bring their families to the bubble. And a number of players won't be with the Raptors. Of course, no NBA team is the same from year to year.
Yeah.
Who knows who will or won't be with the team? Fred VanVleet, Marc Gasol, and Serge Ibaka are all free agents. It's possible, but unlikely that all 3 will remain with the team. VanVleet, in his media exit interview last night, was very honest about his free agency, mentioned that, you know, he thinks about it every day. He's able to separate that from basketball. Kyle Lowry, on the other hand, said that he expects Fred to be the point guard of the future for the Raptors. So, you know, so it's on their minds. Nobody really knows what the future will hold. But for now, it's just go back to work with their own personal trainers, improve their games, the elements that sort of limited them in the series. Pascal Siakam